Big dragons, small dragons, ancient dragons, hell, even dead dragons. That's right, Elden Rings Shadow of the Erdtree DLC introduced a whole new batch of everyone's favourite enemy type, the dragon. But fear not, for those who didn't train with St. George, From Software has you covered. In the DLC, you can obtain the Dragon Hunters Great Katana, which is one of 3 brand new Great Katanas that were added into the game. And as the name implies, the Dragon Hunters Great Katana is a specialised weapon that was forged for one thing only: slaying dragons. So to start off with, I will give you a step-by-step guide on how to obtain this ultimate dragon slaying weapon, followed by all the information on what makes this weapon truly pop. So let's dive straight in. The Dragon Hunters Great Katana can be obtained by defeating the Ancient Dragon Man boss fight, which you will face once you have navigated your way through the Dragon's Pit dungeon, located here on the map. In order to access this dungeon, starting off at the castle front site of Grace, located here on the map, follow the main road heading east, past the army camp, and then follow the path through the woods. Eventually you will reach the Pillar Path waypoint site of Grace, so activate it, and then along the southwest path you will encounter the NPC Egon. So exhaust his dialogue and then continue on south down the ravine lined with the headless dragon statues on either side. Further down this path you will then encounter a hostile NPC, the Ancient Dragon Man, and while this is the enemy we are looking for, this is not the version that we will get the Dragon Hunters Great Katana from, so defeat him and then continue south. Then on the left hand side of the ravine you will find the entrance to the Dragon's Pit dungeon, enter it and then rest at the Dragon's Pit site of Grace. From here, continue down the tunnel until you reach the end. You can then either drop down to the next level, or follow the path on your right round and down to that same level. On this lower level there will be 2 skeleton enemies, either take them out, or just run straight past them and head down the path to the northeast. Follow this path down and round to the east and it will then open up to a large cavern. Follow the path to your left along the edge of the cavern, being careful not to fall off this narrow ledge. Then once you have reached the safety of the wider section, continue to head east until you reach the end of the path. Again, either taking out the enemies in this area or just running straight past them. At the end of this section, turn left heading north and follow the tunnel down, and you will now enter another large area with a staircase leading down to your left. Follow the staircase all the way down to your left and enter the next tunnel. This tunnel will then open into a very large chamber. Just head straight forwards and you will see a glowing stone slab saying, "Be brave, show no fear." Then do just that, walk straight forward to the very edge and take a leap of faith. You will then drop for quite a while, but fear not, as you will safely land at the bottom. Then in front of you, you will find the fog gate to the Dragon's Pit boss, the Ancient Dragon Man. Enter the fog gate and kick some ass. Once you have defeated the boss, you will be rewarded with the Dragon Hunters Great Katana. You can then open the doors at the back of the arena and you will find the Dragon Pit terminus site of Grace. This will then give you access to a whole section of dragon-infested Shadowlands. Before we move on, if you are enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that bell to make sure you don't miss out on even more Elden Ring content. What primarily makes the Dragon Hunters Great Katana a dragon slaying machine is that it has an anti-dragon effect that will deal 30% extra damage to all dragon type enemies and 15% extra damage against all ancient dragon enemies, making this weapon a must-have for anyone taking on any of the game's dragon enemies and bosses. In addition to this anti-dragon damage bonus, the Dragon Hunter Great Katana also has a passive 55 blood loss buildup, which is a nice bit of additional damage that applies to most of the DLC's dragon bosses. The only DLC dragons this doesn't apply to is the Ghost Flame dragons, as they are immune to blood loss. In its base form, the Dragon Hunters Great Katana has 152 physical damage output, and has a descaling in both strength and dexterity. When fully upgraded to plus 10, it has 372 physical damage output, and has an increased C scaling in strength and dexterity. And this increased C scaling will apply once the Dragon Hunters Great Katana is upgraded to plus 8. For me, what makes this weapon a must-have is its Dragon Wound / weapon skill, which when used cloaks the Great Katana with a jagged gravelstone aura before performing a high leaping slash which deals an additional 20% damage to both dragon and ancient dragon enemies. With a single press of the skill button, you will leap vertically into the air, charging the Dragon Hunter Great Katana with energy and then performing a quick diagonal slash. If you hold the skill button to charge the attack, you will cause the built-up energy to launch forward from the Great Katana as you perform the slash. This will then send a blade-like projectile towards your enemy, making this a fantastic bit of kit for ranged combat. What also makes this weapon skill epic is its stance damage. An uncharged attack does 22 slash stance damage, and when charged will unleash 16.5 slash and 16.5 projectile stance damage, making a total 33 stance damage if you make contact with the enemy with both components of the charged attack. All in all, the Dragon Hunters Great Katana is a fantastic weapon for not just dragon enemies, which it absolutely decimates, but for all other enemies and bosses in the game. And for now, that's it. You now have all the knowledge needed to obtain the most OP dragon slaying weapon that From Software has deemed us worthy to wield. Let me know in the comment section below what your favourite Dragon Hunters Great Katana build is, or if you have another weapon which you prefer to use to take out these fire-breathing monsters. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe for even more Elden Ring content.